to the graphic.
Hey, can you double check that one more time? Because I just unmuted here. This is the one that's supposed to be unmuted.
Yeah, Rusty's
and
muted.
his is supposed to be muted.
Yeah, I muted Rusty's mic. Yeah.
Okay, can you just do it one more time? Just double check the mics and make sure. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Everything good?
I mean, yeah, you sound fine.
Okay.
Rusty, talk.
Yeah, how we doing? How we doing? 1, 2, 2, 2, 1, 2, 3.
Yeah, I got Rusty.
Okay, thank you, sir. I appreciate it.
All right. And we're live on the YouTubers. That's working.
Live on the YouTubers. Yes, sir. I appreciate it.
All right.
Andrew's last name is Gomez, right?
Live on the YouTubers. That's working. Yeah.
Live on the YouTubers. Yes, sir. I appreciate it.
All right.
Andrew's last name is Gomez, right?
Now, see, this is coming.
To it.
Yeah. I just want to make sure the audio is set correctly. Okay, so this is Roadcaster now. So now it should sound much better. Yeah. There we go.
Yeah, that sounds better, don't it?
Okay, so this is Roadcaster now. So hey, Chantel. Hey, Artie. Now we got decent sound. Yeah, much better.
There we go. And then we've got tubular.
Wait, I'm getting an echo
Instagram.
somewhere. Oh, it's from this. Never mind. I'm picking up this. Stupid. All right, here we go. So y'all record from different rooms now. Yeah, well, it's a fake out. We're actually in the same room.
Yeah, we're probably
He's got
20
one
feet
camera
from
on
each other.
the
Yeah.
other camera. It's a fake out.
Same room, 2 cameras.
2 guys, 2 cameras.
In Instagram chat over here, it's Tubular Tard's birthday today. Happy birthday, Tubular Tard.
No, I don't want to see Portland.
Oh, no, plus we'll definitely get
This you can barely see over my shoulder, so I'm not super worried about it. Yeah,
I take pride in it.
I got you. Woo, State Fair, Texas. All
And
right,
you're
here we
welcome.
go.
Yeah, here we go.
Look at Chantel and Arthur talking to each other. That's so nice.
Our
Nice
biggest
little
fans.
community.
Assuming he actually comes.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay, you got it. You got it.
You got it. And happy
Yum.
birthday to Tubular. I'll say that one more time. Happy birthday to Tubular in the Instagram chat over here.
Oh, yeah? Very nice.
It is Tubular's birthday.
All right, here we go. I'm going to do our intro, and we will get started. And I got some stuff to explain.
Ooh, cool.
Hang on. I think we lost our sound for some freaking reason.
Nope. It's there.
Oh, well, I ended it too early then.
There was sound.
Yeah, but I don't know that you can hear me.
Hold on. Let me see.
It's there.
Oh, well, I ended it too early then.
Yeah, we're all audible.
Roadcaster. Okay. All right. Well, it came
We're
up
all
and told
audible.
me that the fucking thing was done. All right. Pardon my French. Here we go.
Yep.
Bwaaa trash fight all through the night, deep in the heart of Texas. The trailer park is nice and dark, deep in the heart of Texas. That drinks his brew and he spits his chew, deep in the heart of Texas. The TV blares, but no one cares, deep in the heart of Texas. Here we go!
it's just like me and you
Yeah.
standing in the bed of the truck while the truck's rolling
We
down
were
the
just
road away
talking
from the
about
camera.
hello, by the way. Welcome
Hello.
to Bwaaa.
Welcome to
King of the Hill
Bwaaa.
Podcast. I'm Mike.
And I'm Rusty.
We were just talking about redoing the intro. Number one, I think it's a little long.
Yeah.
That's my fault because every intro I ever have made is too long.
No, I like it. I think it's a good warm up, especially since they let us use that music. You know,
Yeah.
it's not every day that you could know the band that's doing your intro music.
This is so dark. Hey, somebody let us know. Is it super dark on your end, or does it look okay? Look okay to you?
It looks good from what I see right in front of me and what I
Okay.
see on YouTube. I mean, I'm wearing a hat and you're wearing a hat, so
Oh, there
our
it is. It's better
foreheads
now.
look a
Never
little
mind, it's
dark.
better now.
Can't really
I
see
don't know
my
what's going on
eyes.
today. So we've got welcome to Bwaaa. I think I already said that.
Yeah,
but
welcome.
I'm gonna let you guys in on a little thing here.
A few announcements, huh?
Actually, let's do that real quick. So number one, we are all the way into season 7. We appreciate every one of you being here. Number 2,
Absolutely.
right up front, I want to say happy birthday, Artie. We did say it last week, but
It just took us a minute to get to it.
actually, you know what? It may be in this Friday's coming episode because remember we did some early, and it may actually be on that one too, Artie. So there you go. You might get a double
it
dose
might
of
be
happy
everywhere.
birthday.
Yeah, I don't know.
And then third thing, I know that we put like an all call out before for voices and things like that. Here's what I'm looking for, and I know Rusty's going to be able to help me with this as well. I need comedians, and I don't mean like people who think they're funny or people who you think are funny at work or whatever. I mean actual working comedians.
Well, in a lot of the, I've got that podcast that I discussed with you,
Mhm.
the bucket pull thing with from like the Kill Tony atmosphere of people, and doing the setup and market research for that and talking to a bunch of people.
Yeah.
There's actually at least a handful of people that I could pull from in Austin, or at least offer the opportunity to, because there's nothing in this area, and that's what I tell everybody that I talk to that's in comedy down in Austin.
I don't want like
there's nothing
here in town.
Now, the people I'm talking about are like people that have been on the Kill Tony podcast.
Let me tell you what I'm offering. Okay.
Yeah.
So it's a new show. It's called 4 Jokes and a Story.
Okay.
So, and that's it. That's the entire premise. I get comedians. They come in, they tell me 4 solid jokes, and then they tell me a story. The story can be funny, sad, happy, whatever. I don't care.
Okay.
But that's the entire show. 4 jokes and a story.
Okay.
I think it's a good, simple concept. and
I'll
a
pass
good
that
way to
off.
Get into comedy, and bring comedians on and stuff like that. And then
What type of comedy are you looking for, though? Are you looking for safe comedy, or are you just looking for
any
comedians?
kind of comedy. I don't care.
Because the ones that I know, are, like I said, are in the Kill Tony atmosphere, and Kill Tony atmosphere is not generally known for safe.
Any kind of comedy.
Safe comedy,
It's fine.
so-
It's fine. I just,
Okay.
again, I don't want your aunt because she told a joke last Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
So, okay. And then here's the last thing. I screwed up. I got up early this morning. I did the whole script. I watched the episode a couple of times, all that kind of stuff. And then I forgot to bring the script with me. So as you can see on my handy dandy phone, I have, my wife is so nice that she took pictures of the script for me and sent them to me. I'm just telling you,
wow,
it may be
okay.
a little out of whack because I don't have paper in my hand.
Yeah,
So,
it might be a little slow.
well, we'll see.
Chantel said she should have told us her birthday. Well, we're gonna
When's your
tell
birthday,
you.
Chantel?
We're gonna tell you early and late. Happy birthday.
Happy birthday to Chantel. All right, so let's go here. King of the Hill, season 7, episode 2, or in the year of our Lord 7 ABE 03. They're already jumping ahead.
They're already jumping around. Yep.
The Fat and the Furious. This aired May 12th, 2002.
November 10th.
huh?
November 10th.
Oh, November 10th, 2002?
Yeah, November 10th.
That's the one thing
yeah.
I didn't change on my script until I use a template.
128th episode.
Okay. And this is directed by Alan Jacobson and Clay Hall, and the writers are Mike Judge, Greg Daniels, and Alex.
Written by Alex Gregory and Peter Huck, and directed by Alan Jacobson. Yeah.
The description of this one is: a cute groupie convinces Bill to enter a hot dog eating contest that pits him against a Laotian champion. Now, be fair warned here, okay? Because in the atmosphere, or in the society we're in now, some of this stuff could be a little.
You might have done the wrong episode. This is the hot dog episode?
Yeah, this hot dog.
Oh, okay. All right.
Yeah.
You said something about Laotian.
Yeah. Yeah. It's there's a Laotian champion in it.
Oh yeah. There
Yeah.
is the Laotian commotion.
But I'm just letting you know that
Brain
you
fart.
know there's some voices and things in this one that these days probably wouldn't fly.
Wouldn't fly. Yeah.
But this is the way it was written in 2002. So here we go. There's no bell, no yell. Haven't heard one in quite a while. I'm very disappointed. We start with everybody at a backyard barbecue at Hank's house. He is over there grilling up some hot dogs. We see Peggy start to come out of the back sliding glass door. That's where all the action is, by the way, the sliding glass door in the backyard.
Yeah.
Min and Con are standing there, and they're drinking out of blue Solo cups, not the red ones. And Min just kind of goes, ugh, sticks her tongue out when she drinks the soda in the soda cup. Con hits up Peggy as she comes out and says, "Hey, Peggy Hill, thanks for inviting us to barbecue. Not to be rude, but is this name brand soda? It tastes kind of skunky." And Peggy looks at him.
Perfect answer, though. She has the perfect
She's got a big
response.
bowl of chips in her hand. And she goes, "Well, of course it's name brand. It's Megalomart Private Select." And then she just keeps walking. And then under her breath, she's like, "Idiots." I mean, it's Private Select. Bill comes up to Hank and says, "Are the hot dogs ready? I got a movie to catch in 12 minutes. He goes, "You're leaving?" He goes, "Oh, this is a couples event. There's a movie I'm dying to see. This one's got a Culkin and a Baldwin in it." I mean, that's pretty rare when you think about it. A Culkin and a Baldwin.
Yeah. How many Culkin? There was only two, wasn't there?
I don't know.
I thought there was just Macaulay and then Rory.
McCulkey, Rory. Is it McCulkey?
McCulkin.
McCulkin? Wait, what?
What?
What's his name?
Dang, what is his
What's
name?
the kid's name?
Macaulay.
Macaulay Culkin.
Macaulay
Yeah,
Culkin and
Macaulay
then
Culkin.
Rory Culkin.
Woo!
Rory was the one that was on Signs. He was the little boy on Signs.
Yeah.
That was
Yeah.
Rory.
Oh, such a good movie.
Yeah, Signs is a good movie. Most of his movies are good. I like
Anything with a bald.
M. Night Shyamalan.
M. Night Shyamalan. He does some good movies.
Yeah, he does.
All right, so Hank says, "Well, the dogs will be done in a few seconds." Oh, they're plumping. And so
They're plumping.
Bill goes
yeah.
over and sits by Dale and grabs some chips. Dale looks at him, who's standing right next to him, and goes, "Hey, I was going to sit there." Oh, sorry. And
What
he gets up.
kind of hot dogs do you think that they'd be cooking? Do you think that he would have like ballpark Franks,
No,
or would he
I
have the
think he
Megalo
buys-
Private
I think
Select?
he buys the Megalo Private Select all pork hot dogs.
All pork.
Yeah. In an all natural casing.
Hell yeah, chicken lips and bird peckers.
He gets up because Dale says it's my seat, and Dale just continues to stand there, and he goes, "You said you were going to sit there." He goes, "Eventually." I mean, what a dick, but
Yeah,
really
definitely.
sucks. Hank comes out with a big plate of hot dogs, and they're all stacked up like a pyramid. And he goes, "Okay, everybody, dogs are up now. Bill's in a rush, so he gets first crack." He says, "I'll be speedy." And he sits down in front of that platter, and I swear to God, he just starts plowing into these hot dogs.
Yeah, he moves
I
through
mean,
them
it
pretty
is
quick.
gross
Yeah,
how-
they're he's a true glizzy gobbler right here.
He is a glizzy gobbler, and he makes a lot of very bad mouth sounds. So Hank is over there telling everybody else, "Okay, everybody, dogs are up, and the Bill's in a rush, all that." He says, "I'll be speedy." And then he says, "Okay, we got ketchup, mustard, relish over there." He looks over and he goes, "Oh, sweet Jesus." And everybody stops to watch. You don't hear Hank say "sweet Jesus" very often.
Nah, you really don't.
And Bobby looks at him and goes, "Whoa, look at him go." He goes, Bill, those dogs are for everyone." And then Bill eats the last damn one, burps real loud, and says, "That should do it." And he just gets up and leaves. Bobby says, I mean, when you look at the crowd, everybody's just kind of horrified, right? Bobby goes, "Wow, if there were 13 more dogs on that platter, Mr. Dotrieve would be in the Guinness Book of World Records."
Damn.
So already we're starting to see a problem here in that Bobby is putting a lot of fame onto some guy who eats a bunch.
You know what
right?
pissed me off about July 4th this year?
Yeah, what's that?
So
Hot dog eating
the hot dog eating contest, I can't remember the guy's name. Let me look it up real fast. But the
Hot Dog Jones?
no,
Hmm.
his name is Joey Chestnut. Sorry.
Chestnut.
Joey Chestnut was
He
not
did
allowed to compete this year,
He
right?
did the Netflix thing.
Well, he did the Netflix thing and all that, but he wasn't allowed to compete because he had a sponsorship with
Plant-based
a
dogs.
plant-based hot dog.
Mhm.
So I really think that they did a disservice to themselves by not letting him compete, because the next guy, the guy that competed, only ate like 7 more hot dogs or something like that
Yep.
than the female champion.
Yep.
When he eats 70 plus hot dogs. The guy barely ate like 50 plus hot dogs. So there was like, I mean, we missed out on a true American experience by not getting to see Joey Chestnut gobble the glizzies on 4th of July. I feel like it's a tradition for Joey Chestnut, like to watch him eat hot dogs. And they ruined it.
I am somewhat torn here. I am not a big fan of this stuff. And because I think it's waste. I think there's too many hungry people out there and too many people in need for us to do this kind of thing, honestly.
I think so too. I think so too. I mean, it is kind of grotesque, but it's like a train wreck. It's gross, but you want to watch it, kind of thing.
Kind of why other countries don't like us.
Yeah.
Honestly.
Chantel said that she worked with Joey's nephew at Chipotle. She said they look just alike.
At Chipotle.
Was he able to gobble Chipotle pretty good? Was he fast eater too? Was Joey's nephew?
His nephew? Brother.
His nephew.
Okay.
I wonder if his nephew was a big eater.
All right. Later that night in the Hill bed, which is where we spend a lot of time, Peggy says, and did you see how excited Bobby was about that hot dog eating record? If he ever puts together fame and eating, well, he might end up like, what was the name of that large comedian who died?
Chris Farley, I guess, is who they were talking about. I don't know who she would be talking about. There was a lot of large comedians, but none of them died from eating food. They all died from
That's all drugs. Yeah.
They all died from heroin and meth or whatever it was.
You can't think that the weight was good.
Heroin and speed.
That had to.
I'm sure that wasn't good. Well, actually, that was like for Chris Farley. That was like he hated the fact that all his comedy that they were doing on SNL and everywhere else that they used him. He hated the fat stuff, even though that was his bread and butter. He didn't. That was a part of his like.
I thought he liked it.
No, he didn't. He hated it. That's what all the other, like all of his comedian friends, like Chris Rock and Adam Sandler and stuff like that. Like later on, they were like, nah, he really didn't like all this stuff. That was like, he knew that was his bread and butter, I guess. But he also, he didn't like that they put him in that box because he was much funnier than just being a fat guy. And that was like the box they put him in. Guy. And from everything that I've read and what I understand is that's a like contributing factor to his depression and drug use.
Maybe so. So she's worried about Bobby becoming a big fat comedian who dies. Hank says, but it's nice for Bill to finally have something he's good at. Might give him a reason to live and whatnot. I mean, that is the most flippant answer I've ever heard too. I hope he doesn't commit suicide.
Already said Chris Farley, John Candy, Louis Anderson, but Louis Anderson just like recently died though, didn't he? Within the last like 5-10 years, he lived
it was the last few years.
He got to be an old man. Like Chris Farley really did. John Candy was kind of older too when he passed away, wasn't he? I mean, he wasn't like 30 like Chris Farley.
Probably 40.
He was in his 40s.
Yeah. She says, what Bill needs is a healthy relationship. Look how it turned your life around. Now, guess what? I finally got a woman to agree to go out with him. All right, so see, this is the part I was talking about. This is going to be weird because I got to go to the next page. And on my phone, that is not an easy task. How do I do that? Let's see. Okay, here we go. And so sorry, guys. Yeah, this sucks.
Oh, none of them made it to 65. Chris Farley, John Candy, Louis Anderson. So Louis Anderson never made it past 65.
So she says, I got a real life woman to go out with Bill. And Hank says, my God, you're kidding. Who? She goes, Sonny Edmonds, the new librarian. He goes, the perky one? No, the one who won't make change. Did you try the perky one? Yes, I did. And it took the perk right out of her. It's a great joke.
That is a good line. Yeah.
All right. We're in the alley with all four guys. So you got Boomhauer, Dale, Hank, and Bill. They are just, and then Dale turns immediately to Bill and goes, Bill, what the hell was up with you and the hot dogs? It was the most disgusting thing I've ever seen in my life or on the internet. He goes, oh, I'm sorry. I was in a hurry. Movie sucked. We had to wait a whole 3 minutes for Hank to throw in more dogs. Does your selfish gluttony know no end? He goes, no.
That's funny. At least he knows. At least he's self-aware enough to say no.
Says, now, wait a minute. Bill eating 12 hot dogs in a minute is kind of, a talent. Bill says, I hadn't thought of it that way. Nice, Hank. You want him to be this lonely pant load for the rest of his life? Pant load.
Whatever that is. Yeah. It's calling him shit. A pant load is shit. I never understood pant load. I guess they mean shit.
Well, it means like you crapped your pants. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
As a matter of fact, Peggy's got a gal who agreed to go out on a date with Bill. That's right. An actual woman. Bill himself turns to him and goes, no.
No way. Like he could barely believe it himself. Yeah.
He goes, yep.
There's a woman out there that'll date me.
Dinner tomorrow night. maybe you could figure out what's causing that god awful smell in your car. He says, oh, that was a frog. I guess I'll get rid of it.
Oh my
I'll
God.
get rid of it.
Riding
All
around with a
right.
dead frog. I got a funny car stink story.
Yeah. What's up?
My buddy lived out in Penelope, and which is people who don't know, it's like a town of like 10 people.
And the girl from the Wacky Races.
Yeah, and the girl from Wacky Races. So he had bought like a $300 car when we were in high school off of like somebody he was related to or something like that. And
Wait, who did?
a buddy of mine did.
Okay.
He bought a $300 Mazda 323
Yeah.
hatchback is what it was. And it was just like a little farm car. And well, the guy that he bought it off of had been using it to feed animals. So he would throw sweet feed in the back and then he would drive out to the animals and then dump all the sweet feed out. Well, we were riding around it. We called it the blue cheese because we couldn't find out where the smell was coming for so long
Yeah.
because the car literally was blue and it smelled like rotted cheese. So like we rode around like that for like 4 months, the car just reeking of this, whatever it was.
Yeah.
Well, we decided, we're like, well, we ain't got nothing better to do. Let's find the source of the smell. And it was rotted sweet feed that had like got up underneath the back carpet in the trunk space. So he just like ripped all the carpet out, pressure washed it, and then just left it bare metal after that because it was an awful smell for like months. And it was like a joke. Like everybody would pile into this car and we would all laugh because it just reeked.
It's not worth the money. All right, so Peggy, Hank, and Bill, they drive up to this lady's house. Hank and Bill are both in suits and ties, which is crazy. Peggy's in the back seat. She goes, oh, I almost forgot. At dinner, do not order chicken. Sonny is terrified of birds.
Whatever that means. Like,
Bill goes, Roger that.
I think that generation of people that the Alfred Hitchcock movie, Birds, I think that a generation of people are afraid of birds solely based on that movie.
Think there are some people out there who are just afraid of birds.
Because my mom, she has a fear of birds, and her fear of birds stems from Alfred Hitchcock's Birds. That's the reason why she's terrified of birds.
So Bill also says, by the way, I took the liberty of changing our dinner reservations to Pea Soup Swenson's. I can show off my talent, as you say. If you eat 10 bowls of soup, everyone at your table eats free. What a great plan, Bill. First date, take a lady to watch you eat a bunch of pea soup. All right, so they're at the restaurant. She is Sunny, which does not look like her name. She is disgusted as he is slurping more soup. By the way, Pea Soup Swenson's has a nice windmill outside.
Yeah,
really setting the tone. I don't know if the Dutch just love soup or what.
Well, pea soup is very a European thing, I would imagine.
Yeah, I'm not eating pea soup.
I'd eat pea soup.
He finishes a bowl and goes 7, and he's just got pea soup all over him. He goes, Sonny, you can order yourself another whiskey sour. It's going to be all on the house because I am a soup-eating machine. She leans over to Peggy and goes, you promised me a fat George Clooney. That is not a fat George Clooney. And she gets up and leaves. He puts down another bowl, goes 9. And he looks around, doesn't see Sonny, and says, did Sonny go to the bathroom? I think I'm wooing her or wowing her. Hank says, she left, Bill. Did she see a bird? And Peggy says, no, you disgusted her.
Yeah, pretty gross. I couldn't imagine eating competitions can be gross in its own way.
Oh yeah.
But like at least when you're eating hot dogs, you're not getting covered in pea soup.
No, you're getting covered in hot dog water.
Well, just water.
I don't know which is worse.
Well, it's just water.
Well, but you dip in your hot dogs in it.
Just the buns. They don't dip the dog in it. They just dip the bun.
Okay, bread water.
Bread water. Bread water is a lot better than pea soup.
There's a lady standing at their table, and she goes, I like the way you eat soup, which is the oddest line I've ever heard.
Yeah, pretty gross, honestly.
Like,
soup. Oh, baby, I love the way you eat soup.
She has a big, the one thing that drew my eye, she has a big butterfly tattoo on her left breasticle. Yeah,
which is very reminiscent of the voice actor that plays her, Pamela Anderson.
Oh, is that who it is?
It's Pamela Anderson.
Oh, well,
and this is around the Pamela Anderson Kid Rock era.
Oh, is it?
Kid Rock is also in this as himself. Yeah.
She goes, I like the way you eat soup. He goes, are you making fun of me? If you are, it's okay. I just like to know. Man, that is one of the saddest things I've ever heard Bill say.
Extremely sad.
She goes, oh, hell no. I follow the sport of competitive eating very closely, but I've never seen you before. Cindy Boucher. I'm a fan. He goes, Bill Dauterive. What do you mean by sport? She goes, I figured you were some dark horse chow hog in town for the hot dog eating championship. Haven't you ever heard of IFOCE, the International Federation of Competitive Eating? He goes, Peggy says, okay, you are making fun of him. We get the joke. Ha ha ha. Now move along, lady. She goes, oh no, the I-Force is a real deal. They're like the NFL of competitive eating. You know, Bill, tomorrow night, Dan Vasti has, who's one of the greats in the sport, is having a party over in McManaberry. You should come meet the other eaters. She gets up and slips him a little piece of paper, and he goes, I never say no to a party in McManaberry. She says, I have a feeling about you, and I've slept with enough competitive eaters to know greatness when I see it.
Yeah,
He
Dan
just goes-
Vasti is.
He just goes, dang.
Dang, yeah. Dan Vasti is actually voiced by Jeff Garland.
Yeah.
He's a comedian, actor, producer, voice artist.
Jeff Garland was on
Curb Your Enthusiasm.
Goldberg's Curb Your Enthusiasm, and then he got caught in a Me Too situation and was killed off the Goldbergs.
Oh, I didn't
Yeah.
know that.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well,
He's a funny guy, but
yeah, you can't be
just
involved.
because you're funny doesn't mean you can touch people.
Yeah, you can't be doing that kind of stuff, I guess.
That's right. You're supposed to die when you're 30. All right. So now we're at the mansion party. It's a big old mansion, by the way. And we see a lot of fat guys dancing to the song Flashlight by Parliament Funkadelic.
Okay.
Um,
That's pretty funky.
Bill and I used to work in a call center, right? In Killeen, Texas. And it was Texas Instruments call center.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
For their laptops, when they made laptops.
Oh, wow.
While I was there,
That's been a while.
it has been a while. It's been a while. While I was there, they were bought out by Acer. And the one thing that changed is when I got there originally, there was a cafeteria, and I mean, there was all these amenities and things. As soon as Acer came in, they shut all that down.
Yeah.
The only reason this reminds me of this is because I worked with a guy there who introduced me to some of the first really good funk music I'd listened to.
Oh, okay. I got you.
And so that's what he and I talked about all the time.
Yeah,
so
funk.
that's where I got into like Parliament and stuff like that, for
Yeah.
a while. It's great stuff. It's great stuff. And I just had no one to introduce me to it.
My first experience with funk music was and soul, I guess you could say funk and soul music, was Soul Train.
Yeah.
When we first moved here when we first moved to the United States, of course we didn't have a lot of over there. There isn't just specific TV for black people.
Yeah, sure.
It's all intermixed. There's they don't have like the cultural separation that the United States has.
BET.
So like my first experience with like BET or Soul Train, when we first moved here, one of my cousins is half black, and she's like 6 or 7 years younger than my dad. So we lived at their house for a little while.
Yeah.
And that was like my first experience with BET. The very first song that I ever heard was Usher, 7 o'clock on the dot, driving in my drop top. That song, that was like the first song that I ever heard on BET. And she had a Whitney Houston tape. It was the single "I Will Always Love You," and I burnt that tape up. I literally burnt that tape up listening to that song. She had to buy a new one because I literally would listen to it, flip it. I would listen to it for like 5 hours a day.
He also introduced me to the band Zap. You ever heard of Zap?
No, is it like Frank Zappa or
no? This is super like funk. It's almost like electronic funk, I guess is how I would describe it.
Chantal asked how long I've lived here. Since 1996.
All right. So we're at this party, and they go straight to the buffet. Hank, the first thing he says is, all right, they've got pepper jack. It's a real adventure for Hank there.
Pepper jack's good. I like pepper jack.
And then Bill says, oh, that's good shrimp. And he's just eating this shrimp so fast, right, from the thing. Dan Vitti walks up and says, hey, easy on the shrimp. Save it for the game day, slugger. It's a real rookie mistake to get your grub on at a party. Bill says, oh, I'm sorry. This is my first organized eating function. That's cool. It's just if everybody here decided to throw down, I'd go broke. Dan Vitti puts his hand out. Is it Bill Dotrieve? Oh, you're the new gurgitator Cindy was telling me about. I noticed you breathe through your nose. That's a good start. Later, they are still at the party. Now they're in the trophy room. This dude is eating so much he has trophies. And Hank is looking at one that's got like a golden hot dog on top of it. And he goes, boy, look at the size of that trophy.
It's got to be like, that's the thing with Hank is it's got to be, it's an official sport if there's a trophy involved.
Boy, look at the size of that trophy. Dan says, won that baby in Munich, bratwurst. And those are my 3 consecutive mustard yellow belts, and they look like wrestling championship belts. Right?
Yeah.
He goes, I was going for 4, and then this. And he lifts his shirt, and you see this giant scar and
Massive,
stitches and
yeah.
all this stuff. And he goes, massive heart attack, triple bypass, 85 stitches, goat valve. Which okay,
That's funny.
Dan, you got a goat valve in you. All right, so Bill says, "Oh, I'm so sorry." He goes, "Oh, it's okay. I'm taking care of myself now. Red wine," and then he just downs like an entire bottle of red wine. I don't think that's
Yeah, I don't think that's and actually they've kind of like stumped that myth a little bit.
It's all sugar.
They say that no amount of alcohol is good for you.
It's all sugar, baby. So the girl says, Bill, the last big American to win the mustard yellow belt was Steve Kiner in '99. Since then, all the hot dog competitions have been won by skinny Japanese guys, but I still believe in the big man.
Kobayashi is the one that was winning them all. But I got a quick fact about
Yeah.
the Steve Kiner. So that is an actual human being.
Okay.
He downed 20 1/4 hot dogs in 1999 at the Nathan's hot dog eating contest on Coney Island in 12 minutes.
This is before Chestnut.
Yeah, it was before Joey Chestnut eats 70. So imagine in 1999, the record was 20 1/4, and in 20 years, like it's almost tripled.
Do they actually measure them to get a quarter and an eighth? And a,
I think maybe back then, but maybe back now it might be a judge's call kind of thing. I'm not really sure on that one. Steve Kiner was his nickname was Ralph. For whatever reason, I mean, you could put 5 and 5 together, and it's still going to be 10. So I guess Ralph for puking, and maybe he puked afterwards.
Yeah, maybe so.
But there was a guy named Gersh Kuntzman who was a newspaper.
Gersh Kuntzman, be careful.
Yeah, be careful with that one. He was a newspaper reporter who gave nicknames to the eaters, linking them to sporting heroes past. So he became Ralph. He was known as the Terminator on the competitive eating circuit, but I just don't think that he would be very competitive these days. I don't think that he would last. Ralph Kiner was a Hall of Fame baseball player. Okay. So that's why they called him Ralph, because his last name was Kiner, so they just called him Ralph.
So they had told him that all these skinny Japanese guys are winning, and this hits Hank pretty hard. Wait a minute. America isn't the hot dog champion? And everybody like bows their head like, oh, God, it's such a shame. Goes, well, how could you let that happen? A whole nation is stuffing its face. Can't one of us do it at record speed? And then up comes Kid Rock with no shirt and his hat and his patented red pants. He goes, yeah, it's unfreaking acceptable, man. Time for America to get cocky. He goes, oh, amen, brother. And he turns to see Kid Rock and he goes, oh, he's very startled by the fact that Kid Rock's standing there.
And you know what?
Nobody ever really mentions it.
I totally believe that he would be a fan of competitive eating. Even today, I bet you he is he goes to all these competitions.
Well, Dan Vitti says, Hank Hill, Bill Dotrieve, this is Kid Rock, competitive eating's fan numero uno. Hell yeah, huh? I once canceled a 12-city European tour to watch this grub gobbler chow dog. Jesus.
Okay.
Dan says, hey, Rock, check out Nozawa between the two big blondes. Takaru Nozawa, reigning champion, eats left, drinks right. I got no idea what that means.
I got a quick deal on Nozawa.
And then he says 110 pounds of pure stomach. All right, go for it.
James C. is the voice actor's name. He's done a bunch of voice acting.
Did Kid Rock?
Kid Rock is the guy who does Kid Rock. The guy who does Nozawa's voice, Nozawa, how do we say that? He did the Japanese journalist in Returning Japanese. He plays Guk Fong, whoever that is, Dr. Money, Fonsawan Sufanusenphone. He plays General Gum.
Okay.
Which General Gum, I believe, is the Min's dad. Yeah. And then he plays the doctor in Bill Bulk and the Body Buddies.
All right. So, and then we get, somebody says she's whispering in Bill's ear and she goes, 50 hot dogs in 12 minutes, not 1-5, 5-0. Bill's just like, whoa. Hank, later, and we're still at the party. Hank comes up to Ken and he goes, Hank Hill. He goes, Ken Irawati. So, you an eater? He goes, yeah, Laotian noodle champion. I'm branching out into hot dogs. He goes, oh, no kidding. My neighbor's Laotian. And he just kind of looks at him. He goes, you know a guy named Khan? That's
funny.
That's insane. Then the lady, what is her name? I'd lost her name.
Oh, Cindy?
Sydney, Sweeney, Cindy, Sunny, Subi, Sippy. I'm going to call her Sydney. She goes, you're going to wear the belt.
Cindy Beauchamp.
There you go.
Beauchamp.
You're going to wear
say
the
that.
belt one day, baby. And then you get Nawazawa come up and he goes, hey, Cindy. She goes, Nawazawa. He goes, when are you going to drop these fat American losers and get with number one? Bill's like, hey. She goes, you look so damn sexy wearing nothing but my mustard yellow championship belt. And then Bill speaks up finally. I think your mustard yellow belt is going to look pretty good around my fat American gut. And then she kind of holds him back and goes, baby, you're not ready for not for nothing. He says, who are you? He goes, I'm Big Bill Dotrieve. Come next weekend, I'm going to eat the hell out of you. Which that sounds odd.
That's kind of weird.
Yeah, it sounds weird.
Already mentioned that Kobayashi is the one that took the competitive hot dog eating from 20 and a quarter to in the 60s.
Oh, wow.
So he was able to eat 40 more hot dogs than what the current record was. That's insane.
Make me sick. So he says,
I couldn't imagine putting 60 to 70 hot dogs inside of your stomach in 12 minutes.
Don't want to do that.
That's crazy.
He says, I'm going to eat the hell out of you. He goes, hi, chump. You don't know who you're messing with. He goes, oh, yeah? Well, I'll tell you who you're messing with. And then they just all start chanting, USA, 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 because that gets you out of anything.
Yeah, it gets you out of whatever you want.
And that takes us to our first commercial break. So we will take that, and we will be
right back.
Right back. And we are back.
And
I ran the
we're
wrong
back.
intro, but that's okay. Today is weird. It is a weird day, baby. All right, let me go to this next one here. Let's see. I'm taking care of myself. I'm sorry. I'm so disjointed today, folks. All right, so we are back from the commercial. We are in Hank's backyard. All four guys are back there training Bill with a plate of hot dogs. Hank says, breathe and swallow, Bill. Breathe and swallow. Come on, you're eating for America.
For America.
Now, Dale, who is still kind of disgusted by this, I don't get it. Are you training him to be an athlete or a colossal fat ass? He goes, dang it, Dale. Why do you got to be such a negative Nelly? Why don't you try being a positive Pete? And then, of course,
that made me laugh. I really like that. It's funny.
Con comes walking doggy in his little tracksuit. Not the doggy, but Con. And he says, oh, you poor deluded redneck. You actually think you can eat more hot dogs than Nawazawa? He goes, ha! Personally, my money on Ken Irawati, the Laotian commotion. He the Michael Jordan of Laos. Hank says, keep going. Bill, you got to be able to focus with distractions, no matter how annoying they are. Talking, of course, about him.
Yeah.
He goes, guess you haven't heard of belt of fat theory. Bill, with a full mouth of hot dogs, says, belt of fat. He goes, that's why fat guys can't keep up with us skinny Asians. Your stomachs are trapped in belt of fat. Got no room to stretch. Irawati not only skinny and flexible, rumor has he's got two stomachs.
I imagine there's probably an element of truth in that.
Two stomachs?
In the belt of fat theory. No. I imagine there's an element of truth because most competitive eaters, their stomach has to be able to stretch, obviously, to be able to fit that much food in it. And even though big guys' stomachs are stretched out, eating 70 hot dogs would push into that fat belt, I guess. I don't know. Maybe that is because most of the competitive eaters that you see that eat are skinny.
I know how you
skinny
solve it.
friggin' people.
I know how you solve it.
How?
Stop having these competitions. Just saying.
I hope they never
They're
stop.
Gross, man. They're gross.
I hope they never stop.
Hank says, I met him at a party once, and his stomach seemed perfectly normal. Con is starstruck all of a sudden. You met Irawati? Was he wearing the scarf I knit for him? So now we go to inside, and Peggy is sitting there at the sliding glass doors, and she's watching what's going on outside and kind of listening because, God forbid, she go out and become part of the conversation. Bobby comes up and goes, Mom. She goes, hey, guess what? She's startled, He is carrying what looks like a possible birdhouse. And he says, look what I made for Dad in shop class. It's a bird feeder or a shoebox. I'll let him decide. It
did look kind of awful.
It was pretty rough. From the outside, you hear Hank say, throw down those dogs. And then Bobby hears that and kind of looks out and says, hey, what's Mr. Dotrieve doing? Whatever it is, it's sure making him popular. Is he eating? Oh, this got Peggy. So she grabs the birdhouse. She goes, let me see that. She just breaks it into pieces because she's an idiot. And Bobby says, what did you do? She goes, oh, obviously you need to work on your adhesives. I wouldn't show this to your father yet, but good try. And she just pushes sad Bobby to the other room.
What do we say? Hashtag shitty Peggy.
Hashtag
Yeah, that's a
shitty
shitty Peggy
definitely.
moment.
All right. So now we're at the annual Arlen Eat-Off. Here's what I have to say about the annual Arlen Eat-Off. Seems like a big deal. It's one freaking card table in the middle of a field is all it is. That's the whole damn thing.
Well, you gotta start somewhere, I guess.
I guess, man. It says it's annual, so they do this once a year. They set up this lonely ass table in the middle of a field and eat hot dogs.
Have you thought about hosting an eating contest here?
Nope, have not thought about
No, you
that.
never thought about that?
Hank says, okay, now you just need to rank in the top 5 to qualify, so you don't have to dazzle. You just have to place. And then Cindy, right? She says,
Yes,
remember,
Cindy.
Honey Bear, it's not Roman rules, so whatever you do, don't vomit. Roman rules. You keep those doggies in your tummy, and Cindy will give you the num-num later. Which is just really, really gross.
Nummy. Oh, it's the first annual.
Uh-huh. And then you get, it is the first annual. Okay. And then a ref comes up and says, next up, Nawazawa versus Ken Arawati. Khan is seen out in the audience, which there are quite a few people there watching, but he's got an Arawati shirt on. He's got a flag. He's got an air horn. You hear, Arawati, Arawati. Now I'm going to try this, okay, but I don't know how it's going to sound.
Yeah.
Komiyak Ken Kao Liao. And then
from what I understand,
a
from
nod
what I've read about the show, is that
all that's made up.
it's all just it's all just
That's what I thought too.
what's his name? Damn, I can't think of the guy's. I hate that I can't remember people's names.
Toby.
Yeah, Toby.
Toby
It's
Keith.
Toby Keith. Yeah,
that
no, it's Toby whoever.
Toby Hunt.
Toby Huss.
Toby Huss. Thank you.
It's just Toby Huss, just
making it up. Yeah.
making it up from what he thinks. He's listened to Laotian,
Sure.
but he doesn't know Laotian, so he just made up some stuff based on Laotian sounding like the sound.
That's a scary place to be.
A very scary place to
But
be.
he says all that, and then Arawati kind of nods at him. He goes, "Oh, he nodded me," and he's just he's over the moon. The ref blows the whistle, and they start eating hot dogs. And Bill says, "They're pretty fast." But here's the Dotrieve strategy: start off slow, build the momentum, and then kick hard to the finish line. He goes, "Those dogs are going down." And then we of course see Kid Rock in the crowd of the tiny people at a card table in a field. He goes, "Yeah, baby."
Yeah.
And then you get Dale saying, "Yeah, strap on the feed bag, you tragic behemoth. How many dogs will it take to make you feel whole inside?"
I really like Dale's
inside.
his banter here, because it is just savage as hell.
Crazy. All right.
Strap on the feed bag, you tragic behemoth. That is pretty damn savage.
Then we hear Hank say, "Shut up, Dale. This man is eating for his country. Dale, what you're doing is treason." Well, I don't think so,
That's
but
a
okay.
stretch, but yeah, we'll go with it.
He goes over to the two guys eating. One of them's got a sign behind him that says 20. One of them's got a sign behind him that says 25. And then what is it? It's not Arawati. It's the other guy.
Nazawa.
Yeah, Nazawa. He screams and just falls down in a clump in pain, right? And Dan Vitti says, "Ooh, I've heard that sound before. Hello, colostomy bag." That is dark. That is super dark.
That's really dark.
It's gonna have to wear a colostomy
That is really
bag.
dark.
Yikes.
Imagine I wonder what the rate of injury is in competitive eating, and what type of injuries happen.
Well, I would think diabetes is right up there.
Yeah, I mean, outside of like obvious ones, I wonder what like physical. Well, I mean, diabetes is physical.
Choke.
I mean, like ruptured this or busted that, ruptured spleen, colon, prolapsed anus,
God.
Whatever.
All right. So
I can't believe I said that out loud.
Khan says, "Lao's rules all fall before the mighty Irawati. Irawati." And then you hear the ref say, "Irawati is now leading with 25 and a quarter." Last contestant, Dotrieve. And he looks at Dotrieve and says, "You're soloing." Here's a question I have, because of what happens next.
Yeah.
There are 2 plates of hot dogs.
Yep.
Why are there 2 plates of hot dogs if he's soloing?
Oh, just in case he finishes the first plate.
Okay. All right.
Because I mean, in competitive eating, you know, he's got to. It's just like they're not going to put 60 hot dogs in front of a competitive eater. They're going to put, you know, a plate of hot dogs and then bring them to you as you're eating them. I imagine.
Okay.
Imagine that's how it works. It's been a while since I've watched competitive eating.
Cindy Pam says, "Come on, baby, focus." Hank says, "It's go time." And then you hear Dale once again with his lovely words, "Hail the conquering fat ass, a lonely pig gorging himself on the lips and anuses of his brothers."
Yeah.
Bill looks up and goes, "Dale, why don't you shut your skinny little hot dog eating mouth? You know, I figured out what your problem is." "Oh, really?" "Mm-hmm. I think you're a little jealous of the dough tree." You know, jealous. And then you hear the refs go, "On your mark, get set, go." And he starts eating, and then Dale pops up and goes, "Jealous of this? Any idiot can eat hot dogs." He's right behind him. He goes, "It's not talent. Look, I'll go 2 at a time." And he just starts shoving hot dogs in his mouth.
He's ended up being the better eater out of the two, obviously, right now.
Absolutely. He goes, "I'll go 2 at a time. See, it's nothing special. I can eat 3 at a time. Who cares?" Kid Rock says, "He's try-dogging it."
He's tried. We need a shirt with 3 hot dogs on it. With a shirt with 3 hot dogs that says he's try-dogging.
Oh, ball with a ball. And then Hank says, "Come on, Bill, wolf it." He eats and eats and eats, and then there's a whistle, and they hold up the sign, and he says, "Dough tree, 22 and a half. New guy, 34 and an eighth." Man, he didn't just beat him. He beat him by a lot.
He beat him by a length, yeah.
He goes, "Congratulations, gentlemen. You both qualify. What's your name?" Gurgitator, I think is what he calls him. He goes,
The
"Dale Gribble."
Gurgitator.
And then you hear the crowd just, "Gribble, Gribble, USA, Gribble, Gribble." You know, they're all chanting. And then up comes Kid Rock to Dale. It's just so ridiculous to me that Kid Rock is in this.
Yeah, I think it's funny. Well, I mean, you gotta have good guest
He
appearances.
comes up and goes, "Dude, will you sign my face?" And I know that's an oversimplification of the way that Kid Rock speaks. And then they all carry Bill out. And then Bill is like, he's all there by himself again. And he goes, "What about the dough tree?" I mean, it's really kind of sad, honestly. He's eating all these hot dogs just to be popular. And then
it didn't work.
Pick up Kid Rock and leave him.
That just shows that no matter like the writing or whatever for Bill, no matter what Bill is good at, it always is overshadowed by something or somebody else.
He's a sad sack pantload.
It was like the woman that he wanted. You know, Boomhauer woos the woman.
Yeah.
It's like with the football record thing with the bulldozer thing where he's got to relive the moment by putting on a high school football uniform and playing football with high school kids. Like he's just a sad pant load.
He is a sad pant load. As we mourn Bill's loss and the fact that he's a sad pant load, we'll take a second break and we will be right back. And we are
back.
All right, so we left Bill in a field with a card table.
Bill is in a field with a card
having
table.
Lost
after getting defeated at the one game he should be good at.
But he still qualified, right?
But he did qualify.
So now we see a really odd thing, and you tell me if this happens again anywhere in the series. We see Bill at St. Anne's Catholic Church of Arlen. I thought they were all Episcopalian.
No, Bill's a Catholic. He's from Louisiana.
Oh, you're right. Okay. All right. That's why I asked.
Yeah.
He's praying / talking to the saint. He's kind of at the altar there, you know, with the burning candles and stuff. He goes, "Why? Tell me why you gave me a great gift only to snatch it away. What did I do? Huh? Did I ask for too much? Did I fly too close to the sun on my beautiful hot dog wings? Why do you like Dale better? I hate you." And he runs off. Then he runs back up. "Oh, I'm so sorry. I didn't mean that." I just love the fact that Bill says hot dog wings. That's one of the greatest.
Yeah, like a glizzy Icarus.
He Glizzicus.
Glizzicus, yeah.
He says one more thing to the saint. "Please help me eat more hot dogs than Dale, please." All right, now we're in bed with the Hills once again. Hank is laying there thinking, and Peggy is reading a copy of Ladies Monthly, which is Woman's Weekly
is the magazine. The only reason why I know it's Women's Weekly is because my mom used to get a
It
magazine
says
called
Ladies Monthly on the cover.
No, I know that.
but it's the same kind of
Ladies
thing, is what
Monthly
you're
would be like the because my mom at this time,
It's the
like this particular episode was out around the time. It was like a right at the counter magazine type deal at HEB and stuff, and it was called Woman's Weekly. It had like recipes and diets and quotes about menopause.
Is recipes and diets.
Quotes about menopause, things like that. I actually used to read it because it had a crossword puzzle in it, and at that time, I just like doing crosswords. So I would always take the magazine after she was done with it for the crosswords.
I bet none of the answers were ever abortion.
Nah, that was never one of the answers. I didn't think I saw that on there.
Abortion, 7 across. All right, so it says, and Hank, like I say, he's thinking.
No, it was
By the way,
menopause.
I
7
say that
across.
because I don't like those kind of magazines. I think they're very reductive to women. So Hank says, "Boy, I still can't get over Dale. What a dogger!
What a dogger!"
Peggy has a little bit different take on this. She's that little alley of yours is turning into quite a freak show. You know, well, what do I do now? Oh, dang it, Bill! I got to go with the winner tomorrow. This country's honors at stake. I don't feel like this is as big a deal to Hank as some of the other All-American Go USA things have been. This feels different. Like he's not super involved in this for some reason.
I feel like
you know what I mean?
I feel like any American competition, whether it be football, baseball, whatever, he wants the American to be the champion.
Oh,
so,
I'm not saying that.
So since the American's not the champion, I think that's why he's more invested than I would ever expect, because I would never expect Hank to be even remotely invested in an eating competition. But when he found out that the champion isn't an American,
didn't own it. Yeah,
he's like, oh well, I got to rally for the American
I get it.
here.
For some reason, I don't feel like he's in it as much. I don't know what it is. But Peggy has a different take. She says, well, I do not know how much longer I can keep Bobby away. Today he heard Bill training, so I stabbed my thumb with a ballpoint pen to distract him. She holds it up. She's got his bandaged thumb. He goes, oh, good work. She goes, thank you. I think it's infected. Now we're in the alley with just Dale and Boomhauer. And let me tell you, when it's just those two, it's pretty awkward.
Oh, Dale and Boomhauer. Yeah. Well, I think anybody in Boomhauer by themselves is always a little awkward.
Boomhauer's just standing there being quiet, sipping his coffee. Dale's just staring at him. And then finally, after a pregnant pause, says, so you got a chance to read my short story? Boomhauer's like, oh, I kind of had some stuff out there. But, I mean, just, you know, playing him off or whatever.
Yeah, I just, short story from Dale, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I need those.
What is it about? UFOs probing cows or something?
Bill comes out with a pan. He's got an apron on. He's got the hot mitts. What do you call it? Oven mitts.
Oven mitts, yeah.
Welding gloves. Out a big thing of muffins, and he says, "Fresh baked muffins, anyone?" And then Dale, of course, you know I love muffins. Got any cranberry, banana, macadamia nut? He goes, actually, that's all I've got. Oh, when it comes to muffins, I can't help myself. I'm a muffaholic.
I'm a muffaholic.
Again, pause for
all
a
right.
fact.
Pause.
He starts two-fisting these muffins, man. I mean, he's got a muffin in each paw, and he's just gnawing away at these stupid things. Hank walks up and he goes, "Hey, Hank, Bill baked fresh cranberry, banana, macadamia nut muffins." He goes, "Bill, Boomhauer's allergic to macadamias, and you know I don't eat cranberries. We've had this conversation before." What a conversation!
Yeah, what a conversation indeed.
He looks super guilty. Hank kind of gives him a little bit of side eye and goes, "Hey, wait a minute." And he takes it away from Dale, and Dale goes, "My muffin." He goes, "Dang it. Don't you see what he's doing? He's filling you up so you won't be able to compete today." Bill goes, "Oh, that is an outrageous accusation." And you can tell he doesn't mean it. He goes, "You're sabotaging your friend and your country. You ought to be ashamed of yourself." He goes, "Yeah, but, I'm sorry. What am I supposed to do? I want to bring home the mustard yellow bet to America. Me, the dough tree. Oh, for God's sakes, Bill, I wasn't even planning on going to the competition." Hank says, "Dale, Lady Liberty is a proud woman. She doesn't like to ask her boys to help, but when she does blow the horn of freedom, I tell you, mister," and he stops him right in his track and goes, "I'm sorry, Hank, but I'm not joining that freak show." And we find out why. He says, Bill says, "Well, how can you say that?" He goes, "Because I'm a freak. I know, I've been there, and I don't want to go back." He goes kind of in a fetal position up against the fence, pulls his shirt kind of over his head and goes, "That's right. I was in the 5th grade." And then we get a flashback of him sitting under a lunch table out in the lunchroom. He goes, I had a touch with the social anxiety disorder, and medication was not readily available or indeed invented yet. I had a hard time making connections with people. I don't understand the bridge between these two things, but he picks up an ant and eats it. A little girl sees it, and you overhear him saying, did you see that? Yuck, the guy ate a bug. Ew. And then the other girl goes, do it again. He says, by the next week, I was putting on shows at recess. He was standing up at recess in like where the swings are or whatever, and he's kind of on a hill.
Yeah.
He's got a whole bucket full of bugs.
And
He's just pulling
going to town
bugs
on
out
it. Yeah.
and eat them. The crowd's just saying, eat it, eat it, eat it. And then he goes, I was eating machine crickets, spiders, dung beetles. I thought it was so cool. And then the crowd, you hear them say, eat it. Somebody says it's gross. Somebody says yucky. They say eat more. And then it focuses in on this one girl.
What
she
a
goes,
freak.
What a freak. And then everything turns to laughter. They're laughing at him. So we come back to reality, and he goes, remember, Bill, just because you have their attention doesn't mean you have their respect. Hank says, so, Bill, I guess you're America's only hope. Are you in? Bill says, I am so in. I mean, they didn't listen to him at all.
Not even one bit.
Like, yeah, whatever. Okay.
Which, Dale's not somebody that you probably should be taking advice from most of the time
I get
anyway.
that, but that felt like a heart, story from the heart that he was telling there.
Yeah, it was. But I feel like with Dale, like he spends so much time being disingenuous and being a weird dude that whenever he does have like these heartfelt moments, that it's hard to really because he had that one where Bobby was going to shoot him or whatever. That was kind of a heartfelt like little moment they had there too.
Yeah.
So I feel like he doesn't have enough of those moments for people to take him serious.
All right, we're at the county fair. There's a big banner up that says National Hot Dog Eating Competition, Heimlich County Chamber of Commerce, and then on the end of it is the symbol for the IFOCE. It's a hot dog with a top hat.
Yeah.
We have Cindy says, Hank, is there any chance I might be able to get some alone time with Dale and persuade him? Dale overhears that, and he goes, keep your pants on, lady. My wife's hotter than you, and she throws more sex at me than I know what to do with. Bill kind of whispers and says, Cindy, believe in the big man. She goes, show me a miracle, baby. And then he unbuttons his pants, and it pops out just kind of his gut. He's getting ready.
Boom, boom.
Now we go over to Peggy and Bobby in the car driving. Peggy says, the outlet mall is a bit of a drive, but God help me, I love those discontinued pantsuits. They just keep driving. Bobby looks out the window. Hey, look, the county fair. Something about a hot dog contest. I could go for a hot dog. Maybe even two. Oh, good. Here's another sign.
And that's how
she
it starts,
immediately drives off the road. Like she just completely off the road. Mom, what are you doing? She goes, well, it just occurred to me. I've never taken you fishing. She's terrible at this kind of stuff.
Right into the river. Oh, yeah. I'm sorry. I never taught you how to swim. Yeah.
So we're back at the hot dog contest. We hear the referee say, gladiators, hands on the table. Judges, are you ready? On your mark, get set, go. And then they just start shoving it in, right? And Hank says, dang it, Irrawaddy's already up 2 dogs on Bill. He's got to kick it in. You see Kid Rock come up, of course, in the audience. Dan, you hear say, oh, it's too soon. He'll flame out. And then you hear an air horn go off, another one. And Khan's out there, Laos rules. And so the competition is fast and heavy. Now we're back at the lake. They're both waded into the lake at this point, like up to their knees.
Yes, this is a like. I think Peggy is more psychotic in this episode than she is shitty, because she destroys her kid's birdhouse shoebox, and now they're knee deep. And
she just has no idea how to react to things. Like she doesn't know.
What does she say here? Use the tackle God gave you.
Yeah. So she goes, Bobby, they're both out there in the water, and Bobby's like, aren't we supposed to have fishing rods? She goes, fishing rods? You ever seen a bear use a fishing rod? Here, use the tackle God gave you. And then she shoves his hands down into the water like he's going to be able to catch a fish. She says, look, there's a sturgeon. Slap it out of the water, Bobby. He slaps at the water. He goes, where? I don't see it. She goes, oh, you're scaring him away with all your talking. She's
That's funny.
She's a terrible parent. All right, so we're
Which
at the-
actually, just to clear up the sturgeon thing,
yeah, there's no
there is no sturgeon here.
It's gotta
There
be super
have
cold
been
water.
there have been sporadic occurrences where they were seen as far west as the Rio Grande River and Florida Bay to the east. They historically Gulf sturgeon are the Mississippi River east to Tampa Bay. They have had them kind of drift that way, our direction, but it's very, very, very rare.
The reason they said sturgeon is because it's the funniest fish. That's really it. I bet you. It's just a funny name.
It is. Yeah, it is. It is a funny name.
So we're back at the contest.
But sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt
you're
you.
fine.
I just wanted to touch up real fast on the rarest fish in Texas is actually the Guadalupe bass. It is the official state fish of Texas, and it's almost unheard of globally. Yeah, it's almost unheard of globally. So it's pretty much native to the Edwards Plateau area, which is Austin to San Antonio, that whole area, the Guadalupe River kind of thing.
Yeah. All right, so we are back at the contest. This is the current score. We've got 5 contestants. First guy has 15. The next guy has 18. Bill has 23. Irawabi has 23. And then the last guy has 17. And the first person we hear from is Dan. They're just like cheering them on. And honestly, behind them, you never really see the whole thing, but it's yellow and black, and it looks like the Nathan's Hot Dog banner behind them. He goes, look, Bill's kicking. He's kicking. And then with the last guy who only had 17, he goes down. Like he's out. And Cindy says, come on, work it. And then again, they're all just cheering. So Hank says, he's ahead. Go, Bill. Attack the dog. USA, USA. And then you see Khan out in the audience. Come on, Irrawaddy. Louse is depending on you. And then the crowd, you hear, Doe-Tree, go. Doe-Tree, eat it. Bill's kind of looking around at the hot dog. He looks at Dale. He looks at the hot dog. Then you hear somebody out in the audience say, what a freak. And then Dale gets a little excited because Bill starts to put the hot dogs down. He goes, is he? He is. He's quitting. All right, Bill. And then Hank says, no, come on, Bill. USA. He goes, Hank, I'm full. He goes, I know, buddy, but just another 15 hot dogs. He goes, but they're laughing at me. Do I have to keep doing this? He goes, I guess it's for America. Bill is super sad at this point because he's a freak.
And Hank showing that he's a real friend. I like this moment with Hank because it shows a little bit of how much Hank, because we haven't reached that episode yet where the Hank gets drunk and shaves his head and he's got Bill's name tattooed on him. Yeah. Have we done that episode yet? No, okay, I didn't think we did. So it really goes to show how much Hank values his friendship with Bill, and it shows why they've been friends for so long.
It finally hits him, as these lessons in these shows always do. And he goes, Bill, America doesn't need to win every dang thing to be great. We got the Constitution, 2 George Bushes, great toilets. Hell, we played golf on the moon. I guess we can let Laos have a stupid wiener contest, can't we? And then Bill spits out the dog. Dale nods in agreement. And then they all kind of start walking away. Dan says, what the hell are you doing? And Cindy / what's her name says, Bill, you fool. There's still time. Kid Rock, of course. Dude, get back in there and eat like the wind. Bill says, thank you for the hot dogs, but I've had enough to eat. I bid you good day. And all 4 of them walk off. And in the background, we hear the refs say, and the winner is Ken Irawaddy from Laos. Khan, of course, is super excited. This is the proudest day of my life. Kid Rock throws his cane down in disgust and says, oh, that's it. I'm quitting music and I'm putting on the bib. And that's the last funny. We see of the competition.
Yeah.
We go back over to Bobby. We see Bobby catch a bass with his hands. That's it. And then we're back over with the guys. And Hank says, so is things still on with Cindy? He goes, no. Well, they're in the truck now leaving. And Dale says, well, at least you got a little chicka womp womp. Bill says, actually, we were saving it for tonight. My idea. Hank says, attaboy, Bill. Then they drive off. You get the credits. And as you see the credits roll, you hear him say, anyone got a breath mint? And every one of them at the same time. Yep.
Here you go. Yeah, his hot dog breath. I'm sure it stinks.
That's the end of it. But at the end, we hear the other guys say, you don't know who you're dealing with.
Finito. Yeah, it was a good episode. It was really short. It feels like a short episode, even though it's the same length as everything else, 22 minutes. But I think, was it 22, 23 minutes, something like that per episode?
22.
22. So
Yeah, it's a network standard.
I really liked it. Yeah, I really liked it. I think it was funny. I like
Oh,
like
yeah,
I said, it's probably not going to be in my top 10 of this season.
Yeah.
But
It's a good one.
I think it was really good.
Yeah.
It does seem short because there's not a lot of
Skip rocks.
subplot. There's not a lot of subplot in it. It's just straight up competitive eating.
Sure.
Well, there is a little subplot with Peggy trying to keep Bobby from being cognizant
We
of
didn't want him to be
competitive
a
eating.
competitive eater. I mean, that's which I completely understand. That probably shouldn't be your kid's goal.
Nah, I wouldn't be mad if my kid was good at it and he competed in it, but I wouldn't want his life goal to.
Well, I'm not saying I'd be
because
mad.
it's not like
Better.
I just had the guy's name, Chestnut. It's not like Joey Chestnut is broke. He's rich because he ate hot dogs fast. So like I wouldn't be like against it, but I would hope and pray that my child's life goal was not to eat 60 hot dogs in 12 minutes. I would really hope I did a better job of raising my kids.
So that was season 7, episode 2, The Fat and the Furious. Pretty good episode.
Yeah, it was a good one. I liked it.
Real consistent with all the other stuff that we've done. Thank you very much for being here. We always appreciate you guys being here. Thanks for sticking around in the chat. Thanks for talking to each other and to us. And we will be back again next weekend or next week with episode 3. You want to tell them where they can find us?
You can find us at BWAAKOTH. That's pretty much anywhere there's a social media. We're on Scoops. We're on Blue Sky. We're on Instagram, X, TikTok, anywhere that there is social media. And if there's a social media site that you use that you want us on, let me know, and I'll go ahead and create an account there too.
Scoops, the ice cream-based social media app.
Yeah, it's actually pretty neat. We've gotten like quite a bit of traffic over there.
Oh, yeah?
Like 8,000-ish views
Good.
over the few videos I've posted, and 77 followers in the last 30 days or
We
so.
love our scoopers.
So yeah, if you find us from Scoops, let me know, because I think that would be funny. I wouldn't expect that to be a discovery, a place where people would discover us.
That's true. That's true. Yeah.
It is new though. It is new, and it is in like the top 5 or 10 on App Store for entertainment apps. So that's the only reason why I use it.
Thank you guys for being here. We do really appreciate you. Again, I'm going to put out
Yeah, we
that all
appreciate
call for comedians, stand-up comedians, comedic writers, people like that. I want people who are actually working in comedy for a new show that I'm planning on starting called 4 Jokes.
Yeah, if you're doing like an open mic every like 5 months, that we're not talking to you. Like people that are out there doing open mics every weekend, doing 4 or 5 open mics a night.
I'll just take anybody who's worked in comedy. You don't have to be active right
Oh,
now.
okay. I thought you wanted active comedians.
I just don't want this guy at work. He's always funny around the water cooler. That's.
I got you.
I don't want that. I want people who have actually
tried to do it. I got you.
Yeah, I think that could be a fun show. All right, guys. Thanks again for checking us out. Check out all the other shows on Rogue Media Network. We have another one called Swimmer's Ear. We've been doing it with Mason here lately, just simply because Rusty's been running out of juice. He was sick for a while and still not really
100%. Yeah.
So,
I don't really know what the cause is, but
he'll be all right. He'll go see
I'll be
somebody
back
in
on Swimmer's Ear before too long.
Yeah. But thanks again for joining us, and we will see you again next time. One last thing.
Winnetanya, and if you're on YouTube, stick around. We will continue to be here. Go ahead and hit that like, notification bell, and subscribe.
Winnetanya, indeed.
Yes.
Bwaaa tries to fight all through the night, deep in the heart of Texas. The trailer park is nice and dark, deep in the heart of Texas. That drinks his brew and he spits his chew, deep in the heart of Texas. The TV blares, but no one cares, deep in the heart of Texas. Here we go!
King of the Hill writers, producers, whatever in the King of the Hill show on Blue Sky.
Well, the thing about Blue Sky right now is that it's so new. The world is kind of open there. I think you can get to a lot of people that you couldn't probably get to otherwise.
Yeah, I've added it. Like I typed in King of the Hill on the search bar and clicked on people, and it aggregated a bunch of people that have I work on King of the Hill in their bios. So I'm going to start harassing some of those people, and then I really need to link back with
change that wording.
Yeah, maybe a little bit, and then I need to link back with that guy that does. He's got a podcast where he's already interviewed 15, 20 people in the King of the Hill that have worked on it. I need to get back in contact with him. He had some family stuff going on, so he wasn't able to be on the show, and like I kind of haven't reconnected with him yet.
Let's do our Friday real quick. You guys hang on. We're gonna do that.
Bwaaa trash fight all through the night, deep in the heart of Texas. The trailer park is nice and dark, deep in the heart of Texas. That drinks his brew and he spits his chew, deep in the heart of Texas. The TV blares, but no one cares, deep in the heart of Texas. Here we go!
Do it.
Hey there, everybody. Welcome to Bwaaa Podcast. I'm Mike.
And I'm Rusty.
He is. And Rusty, it is Friday.
It is Friday.
And on Fridays, we do something a little different. We do a That Ain't Right Friday.
That
so
is
we're
not
doing
right
an actual
Friday.
episode. What we do is we talk about news around King of the Hill and things like that. I got to tell you, a thing that I went to last night. Now, today is Sunday when we're recording. I drove to Austin last night. I'm driving to Austin again tonight. But drove to Austin last night and went to a thing called the Harry Potter Forbidden Forest Walk.
Yeah, I've heard of that. Yeah.
Took the wife because she's a huge fan. And I got to tell you, that thing was fantastic.
Where was it at?
It was in this wooded area all the way over off of Ben White. So it's all the way on the other side of Austin.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Boy, you talk about a busy place.
Ben White, that's almost
to the other side of Austin. Yeah,
that's like way out there. Yeah,
it's it was so cool though. Like,
way out on the west
I'm
side.
not even really a Harry Potter fan, but it was very like
I am
magical and lights and things and stuff would show up in the forest and things. It was just very.
I got
cool.
a fun fact about Harry Potter.
I mean, it was so cool that I bought her a $50 wand to screw around with. The stuff there, you know.
Well, I got a fun fact about that. Me being from England, my grandma used to send me kids books, and when I was a kid, I got a book called Harry Potter and the Philosopher's Stone, and a year after I read it, it's the biggest thing in America.
Yeah.
So like I remember reading the Harry Potter book and everything like that, thinking, oh, this is a great book.
Yeah.
And then it was before it had made it to America at that time. So I had like one of the first edition paperbacks. So that's actually a holy grail item. I don't know what it's actually worth. It's not in 100% condition, but I've seen some of them that are in really good condition. They go for like $20,000 and $30,000. I'll never sell it. So I'm not really worried about its worth.
Yeah, sure.
But, that's I thought that was kind of cool that I got to experience Harry Potter before probably like 99.9% of America. So I remember reading it, and then the next thing I know, like I'm walking through the library at school, and there's like 2 more books, and then the movie's coming out, and I'm like, damn, I remember that. That was just like I thought it was just like a one-off like wizard book, and that was the end of it. But it ended up being this huge international thing.
If that thing comes to your town, it's worth the money. It's I think it costs us $150 to walk through there, but
that's not bad.
But it was really cool.
When you're talking about Harry Potter related stuff, $150 is kind of cheap.
I guess it costs us.
At least it's not like that that one Harry Potter experience in the warehouse thing or whatever that was.
Like the Wonka.
The Wonka thing,
yeah, that was rough.
The Wonka thing.
Okay, so one little piece of news posted November 3rd this year says King of the Hill's reboot plans are even bigger than we thought. This is from the website thedirect.com.
Okay.
Written by David Thompson. Again, like I said, November 3rd. It says an exciting update has been made to the Hulu King of the Hill reboot. It says that the show was officially picked up in 2023. God, I didn't realize it'd been that long. And,
well, remember this bit the strike.
Yeah, that's true.
The big strike.
Well, they're talking about there were concerns also because they didn't show up at the D23 panel in August.
Okay.
Which that's usually where these big shows show up. And
tell
you all about
for sure.
What's coming up. Ooh, sorry. Anyway, and then they talk about how Bobby Hill will be aged up and things like that. But the big news here is that Hulu has actually greenlit not 1 but 2 seasons. So during the wrap party, there was a list that was shared on Instagram, and it said season 14 and 15. So
it was a crew member who had listed it in her bio.
But here's what I want you guys to understand. TV is not TV like it used to be. So used to, we would get 22 episodes out of a season, 22, 23 episodes.
Yeah, so we don't know what we're going to get.
I bet we're getting 8 to 10 out of this one.
We don't know. So, we really don't know what to expect. I would hope, and I really do hope, I highly doubt it, but I hope that there is more than 10.
Well, I'm just saying
less than 22, obviously, but I hope there's more than 10, maybe 12 to 15. I'd be happy with
10. Then even doing 2 seasons is not the same as doing 1 whole season.
It's not,
but it's great. I'll take whatever they can give me.
And our promise to you, the fans that listen to Bwaaa now, our Friday episode will change when that drops.
Mm-hmm.
We hope to drop when it drops at midnight, whatever time it drops, because it might drop East Coast time, might drop West Coast time. So we'll either get it at
try to do a live one.
We'll either get it at 10, 11, or 12 or 1 a.m. Whatever time it drops in Central Time. We're gonna watch it and try to do a live react to it, but we're not sure how we're going to do this yet. I think AI might help us with this. Our transcripts are tough to get now as it is, so it's like there will be no transcript. So we like how we go line by line like we do now. We're not really sure how that will go about. I think if we rip the audio and run the audio through an AI thing, we could get a pretty decent transcript from that, but we're not sure about that part. But either way it goes, we will give you content immediately as quick as we can based on what we think about the show. And that's what it might end up being, is we watch it together and just react to it while we're watching it. Yeah, but however it happens, we'll figure it out.
And then I would think by the end of our run here on the original episodes, then everything will be there and we can cover them just like normal.
Yeah, we'll be able to by then for sure, because we're still like years out.
We're in season 7, so this.
Well, you got to think we're almost to the halfway. Once we're in the halfway through this season, well, because there's 13 seasons now. So if there's 14, say the 14th season drops while we're still recording season 8 or 9, we'll be over halfway through the show at that point.
That's true.
We're over halfway through it now, if you think about it. So, we're past the halfway point being even in 13 episodes, which is kind of crazy to think about.
We are going into the holidays. As we record this is December 1st. And one of the things that happens around this time, it starts getting chilly. It was very nice on that walk last night because it was just chilly enough,
brisk,
but it wasn't cold, But one of the things that people like to do is get by a fire, and one of the drinks, of course, eggnog. But
Yeah.
another one is a hot toddy.
A hot toddy.
Now, a hot toddy, Buck Strickland loves a hot toddy.
He does.
So this is a cracked article, but it's behold Buck Strickland's hot toddy recipe from King of the Hill. So in season 5, the buck stops here. Bobby goes and kind of takes a walk on the wild side with Buck.
Yeah, the buck stops here. Yeah, that episode he
Country club, all that.
he gets a little wild. Yeah,
yeah.
ends up in Arkansas.
And so what they did is they came up with the hot toddy recipe for Buck Strickland. Now, it says, thanks to a drink crafter in the King of the Hill subreddit, we're about to test the theory out that Buck has a warm beverage and he prefers his life and business and marriage and all that kind of stuff. He prefers the drink. So the hot toddy recipe. Let's see. What do we got? It is now the hot toddy formula isn't exactly a new invention. After all, it's just warm water, whiskey, honey, lemon, and an optional cinnamon stick.
Yeah.
However, it's the ratio of ingredients that makes a hot toddy the perfect relaxation refresher, and we like their approach. 9 ounces of water in honor of the front 9, where Buck teaches Bobby about life.
Yeah.
Half a lemon, signifying the sourness of Buck's better half.
Yep.
And whiskey, honey, and cinnamon to the drinker's best taste, since Buck always plays fast and loose with the sweet and spicy and the boozy parts of life. Of course, this recipe is missing the most important step in making a hot toddy, getting Miss Liz to make it for you. Miss Liz!
2 hot toddies.
I love that that is an entire article on Cracked. It's just the
Yeah, I like
recipe
that too.
of Buck Strickland.
And then if you click on the link in that article, it takes you to the Reddit page,
right.
and there's actually a graphic that they've made,
Yeah.
and y'all can go check that out.
Very nice.
A hot toddy minus the whiskey is great for upset
good for
stomachs
your-
and sore
Well,
throats.
it's good for your throat. Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely. Like a lot of people will drink those even with a little bit of alcohol in them before they sing or before there's a big speech or something like that. What's your preferred like holiday drink?
My preferred holiday drink,
Yeah.
hot chocolate, I guess.
chocolate.
Yeah, I'm not. Most of the holiday drinks surround some type of alcoholic beverage, and I don't really drink.
Yeah, see, I
so
don't do that anymore either. So that's
eggnog
tough.
is gross to me because the idea of drinking egg is just not appealing.
I like eggnog.
I never really have liked eggnog.
Now here's
Apple
the thing.
cider.
I say no, apple cider's good.
I
But
like that.
I say I like eggnog, but every time I've had eggnog, it's had whiskey. In it.
It's had
So-
whiskey in it.
So
Yeah.
maybe I don't like eggnog.
I've never
anymore.
had non-alcoholic eggnog.
Yeah.
So
No, it kind of lost its appeal for me.
to me, even though it had whiskey in it, all I could think of is that I'm eating a beat up egg.
Well, it's very thick. It's a very thick.
Yeah, and I don't really like that. Like unless it's like I said, unless it's like cacao, like cocoa or whatever, chocolate.
You say cow?
Cacao,
Cacao.
which is the bean that
That's
chocolate's
what it
made
sounds
from.
like when Superman punches a guy. Cacao.
Well, as you and most of our guests know, I worked at a chocolate factory making
did.
Snickers, and the raw chocolate is very, very overwhelming stink. It's such a
Raw
strong, like once they turn the cacao into the raw liquid chocolate before you coat candy, and the chocolate, the literal chocolate factory inside of because the candy factory has many different working parts. They have a peanut roasting facility. They have the facility that makes the actual chocolate, and then you have the part that I worked at, which puts all those ingredients together to cook the Snicker bar. So sometimes you would have to go over to the raw chocolate area to tell them, hey, I'm ready for you to pump the chocolate over to me into my vats so I could go ahead and start making candy. And when you would have to go over there, everybody dreaded going over there because those guys reeked. The dudes that
Really?
worked in that area, and it's not that they had body odor, it's just the fact that raw chocolate just absolutely is a really,
Is that bad,
really
huh?
not good smell. Yeah, man, it'd give you a headache. You'd be over there for a little while and you get a headache from it. And then I had a guy that because we changed out in the locker rooms, we had like a work uniform because we're in a food production facility.
Yeah,
You can't
sure.
just walk in there in your street clothes. So we would I would have to change out next to him. And if I saw him there before, like if he got there before I got there,
Yeah.
I would wait the 15 to 20, however long it took him, I would wait that amount of time because it would be so strong of a smell. And even when he wasn't at his locker, because that's where he stores his boots and everything like that, it was just so strong of a smell. There's actually a lot of guys that would shower, because there's showers too. They would have to shower before they go home because the smell
in the factory.
yeah. Well, they had the showers for there's like, say your kids or your wife has a peanut allergy and you work with peanuts, they had a shower so guys could shower off before they go home and stuff like that.
Makes sense, I guess. Yeah.
And you don't want to smell like raw chocolate going to the bar after work either. So
Well,
I didn't have to deal with that because I worked in.
Know what raw chocolate smells.
Probably not that bad in small quantities, but in an
If
industrial,
you had to compare it to something, what would it be?
man, you know, it's such a unique smell. Have you ever took a huff of like raw cocoa, like powder? Like go get raw cocoa powder and then eat a handful of it,
No, I don't.
and that's what it smells like. But like 10x,
Okay.
because you got to think you're dealing with size of a double wide trailer vat full of it. You know what I mean? Like massive vats full of the raw
I never
chocolate.
would have thought that raw chocolate would smell terrible.
Well, if you go out to the plant, you could smell all kinds of smells, and just imagine those smells and being right on top of it. Like if you've ever, I mean, you've I'm sure you've driven past there, you know, once or twice in your life living in town.
Yeah.
Those smells that people smell, oh, that's such a sweet smell. Go on top of that smell and tell me that's a good smell. Once you're in the building with the smell, it's a whole different animal.
This says you can tell if chocolate's gone bad if it smells bad or is discolored. So I wonder if y'all were using bad chocolate.
No, it was what you get with chocolate that sits for a long time. You get this thing called fat bloom, and that doesn't necessarily mean the chocolate is bad, but it will cause the chocolate to look discolored. Like if you ever go get a Snicker that's been on the shelf for a really long time and you open it and it's got that white thing on it, that's fat bloom. Yeah.
Huh.
I actually know an inordinate amount of information about chocolate, yeah, and candy too, and just candy in general.
Well, that is our Friday episode. We did a That Ain't Right, and we learned all about hot toddies via Mr. Strickland, and we also learned that we're getting 2 seasons, not just 1.
Yep.
So thank you guys for joining us.
Yeah, thank you.
Again, I'm going to put out my call to comedians. If you are a working comedian or you have been a working comedian, please get in touch with me. That's Mike at roguemedianetwork.com, or you can reach out via the show or however you want to do it. You want to tell them where they can find us? You can find us at BWAAA. That's 3 A's, KOTH, and that's on pretty much all social media. You can find us at youtube.com/@BWAAAKOTH. You can find us in lots of different places. And I tried to post in all those places as much as humanly possible. I think we got some advertisers coming up, by the way. Oh, that'd be awesome. We got some live reads to do. I have tried so much to get. Nobody gives a shit about a King of the Hill podcast. Well, unfortunately, that's because we're dealing with local folks. And well, I've tried like propane companies that are not in Waco, and people just have absolute no interest. They don't care, but that's fine. That's fine. That's not who we're advertising to anyway. No, all right, guys. It was lovely talking to you again. We want you to know how much we appreciate each and every one of you, whether it's a letter, a postcard, an email, in the chat, whatever. Man, we love it, and we love you guys, and thank you so much. Thank you. Your holidays are off to a decent start. Christmas and New Year will be here in about 10 minutes, and so be ready. But we'll be here for you as well. We'll do some special things around Christmas and New Year's. Yeah, we'll have a special episode or something for that, like through Thanksgiving. Season 7, and we'll see you again next Monday. And we matanye Indy. See you later, guys.
the night. Deep in the heart of Texas, the trailer park is nice and dark. Deep in the heart of Texas, that drinks his brew and he spits his chew. Deep in the heart of Texas, the TV blares but no one cares. Deep in the heart of Texas, here we go.
Let me know what you think as far as like another show or whatever.
Yeah.
Is that something you could do from the house?
I've been thinking about like a